Fear is the number one enemy of the faith-driven entrepreneur. A lot of the issues that we face, right, in our growing in our faith, growing in our focus, and growing in our fellowship is fear. Now, the good news is I have an antidote for fear. This is going to be big. Okay, it's going to be huge. All right. If you're driving or listening to this, I want you to just turn everything off and just tune in to the sound of my voice right now, because I am about to give you something that you can take with you that is going to transform your life. I want to talk about hustle. I want to talk about hustle in a way that maybe is a little bit different than what we traditionally talk about when we talk about and think about hustle. As Christian business owners, I believe that hustle can be the very thing that distracts us. It can be the very thing that gets us off the mark and out of focus and out of alignment. But hear me out. Hustle is okay. Hustle is good, but it needs to be in alignment with where God has called you to go. Holy hustle is what I call it. You want to make sure that you're holy hustling, if that makes sense. And here's what I mean by that. When it's from God, when God is giving you the mission, the assignment, it is absolutely okay to give it 110%. Okay. Here's what I am not saying. I'm not saying that we should let go and let God and sit back and just let him do everything. I actually believe that that is almost more damaging than hustling. God gave you the strength. God gave you the wisdom. God gave you the hands. He gave you the mouth. He gave you the eyes so that you could carry out the assignment. If he wanted to do it, he would just do it. There's a reason why God operates the way he does. And I'm so glad that he does, because he gives us certain things, certain assignments in certain seasons of our lives, and of our business that he wants us to do. That does a few things. It forces us to trust him with the things that he controls, and it forces us to be accountable to the things that we can control. For example, God doesn't have to get up and hold my hands and get me out of the bed. Thankfully, graciously, he gave me the power to do that. So he wakes me up because I can't control that part. I have to get out of the bed. I have to go get in the shower. I have to shave. I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of the body that he gave me. Couldn't give myself a body. Is this clicking? So God gives us the power to steward and to activate our faith based on the assignment that he has given us. Okay. So that's the context when I say hustle. So God gave you the business. God gave you the assignment, the leadership assignment. It is perfectly okay for you to give it everything you got, and to, within reason. It's gonna be some early mornings and some late nights and all that stuff. But the bottom line is you are responsible and accountable to steward your health well. Your body is a temple, and you have to treat it as such. Okay. So that's what I mean by holy hustle. Okay. Hustle is not holy when it pulls you out of alignment or causes you to lose focus. I can't tell you how many times, and I talk with people daily almost, that they're just so busy. They can't do another thing. And I'm like, you shouldn't be that busy. Like, people think that I'm really busy. It's not that I'm really busy. I'm just not available to you whenever you need me. I've been practicing intentionality with my time, slowing down. Even this morning, transparently, I'm rushing. I'm dropping my son off at camp, and I'm like, why am I rushing? I don't have to be anywhere right this second. Like, I haven't scheduled meetings back to back to back to back to back. What's the rush? Slow down. A lot of times we miss the forest for the trees because we're just too busy. You should never be too busy to do what God called you to do. If it's from God, there's time for it. But a lot of that is on us because we pack our schedules. Like AI, I'll tell you, has saved me tons of time in my business. And so instead of refilling or backfilling that time with something else, I use that time to learn something, to read scripture, to take a walk in the park, to watch the ducks and the birds and the squirrels and the chipmunks and just be present, right? And not always going and hustling. Part of it might be, as I'm aging and gaining wisdom in this season of life, but part of it is I really in this second half of life, I really only want to do the things that I am supposed to be doing. I don't want to do any of the other stuff. Like I did that, wrote a book about it, literally. I want to do what it is that God has called me to do. And in order to do that, I have to be sensitive to his voice and hearing what he is saying. Okay, you can be exhausted, and it is perfectly normal if you're doing work to get tired and to need to recharge and refresh. What I'm talking about is the point where you're just exhausted, you're wiped, and your family is getting leftovers. Right? You're missing the point. That's the state that I am warning you against. It is not. I repeat, it is not okay for you to be so exhausted that your family gets the leftovers and the busy work and the stuff gets most of your time and your attention. Now, here's the undercurrent. A lot of this busyness, this packed schedule, this on flights, on go all the time, a lot of this is undergirded by one thing. And this is the thing that this is the biggest battle. I'm telling you, this is the biggest battle that you are going to face. And that's fear. Fear is the number one enemy of the faith driven entrepreneur. Fear of failure, fear of what people are going to say, fear that it's not going to work as soon as you need it to work, fear that you got it wrong completely, fear of you being laughed at, fear of, like, you go down the list. A lot of the issues that we face, right, in our growing in our faith, growing in our focus, and growing in our fellowship is fear. Are they going to accept me? What if I say something that or do something and they kick me out of the group, etc. Right? So really it all boils down to fear. Now, the good news is I have an antidote for fear. You ready? So if you're watching this, I want you to get closer to your screen because this is going to be big. Okay, it's going to be huge. All right. If you're driving or listening to this, I want you to just turn everything off and just tune in to the sound of my voice right now because I am about to give you something that you can take with you that is going to transform your life. Are you ready? Okay. The antidote to fear is faith. What is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That is the biblical definition of faith. When you have faith, you are operating on a plane where you can't even see fear. Fear doesn't even have an opportunity to touch you because you understand, number one, whose you are, and number two, who you are. When you understand those two things, faith will overcome fear. Okay, cool. So Mark 8:36 says, what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your soul? Founders, you got to focus on the prize. Paul says, I run my race to win the prize. He says, this is the LZ paraphrase. He says, how crazy would it be if I'm telling all of you to run your race, you win your race, and I get disqualified from my race? So Paul says, focus. Keep your eyes on the prize. Run your race and stay in your lane, right? God didn't call you to do what I do. He called you to do what he called you to do. Okay? Hustle hides fear. But the antidote is faith. I want to give you this one last thing before I get out of here. Okay, so God, this is 2 Timothy 1:7. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-discipline. I like to say that self-discipline is self-mastery. Shameless plug, but that is what God has given us. That's a tool in our toolkit. Okay, last one. I promise. In Luke 10 and 38, I believe is where it starts, is Martha was distracted. She was so busy working on the details that she forgot the most important part. Listen to what Jesus said. Listen to what Jesus said. So listen to this. Jesus and his disciples were on their way. He came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. So this is Jesus. He's opening her home to Jesus, okay? She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparation that had to be made. So understandably, you're having a guest in your house. I mean, it's Jesus, right? So she's making sure that everything is clean, everything is ready. But watch what the Bible says. She came to him and asked, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. And here's how I know that Jesus was a little bit, he liked to rub it in a little bit. Here's what he said. He says, Martha, Martha. He's called her name twice. That's the equivalent today of my mom saying, Elsie, David. It's like, all right, it's serious. He says, Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken from her. In other words, Jesus is telling Martha, you're worried about the wrong things. I am in your house. You need to be focused on listening to me and what I have to say. Like, all that other stuff is appropriate, it's great in its place, but your focus needs to be on me. And that's my message to you, founder. Your focus. I know you got the people, you got all the stuff. Your focus should be on the kingdom. Your focus needs to be on him. All the other stuff will take care of itself. Now, listen, I'm not telling you not to work hard. I'm not telling you not to steward your business well or steward your team well. But what I am saying is that don't miss the forest for the trees. Don't miss the goodness of God because you're so focused on the details. Hey, family, that's what I got for you. I pray that this has been a blessing to you. And if you know any other founders that will be blessed by it, please forward it to them. And remember, carry the flame, wear the crown.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Can I get a oh, yeah? Oh, yeah. Can I get a